Namaskaram. My name is Ganesh Nallari. I'm from Hyderabad, India. I'm a creative professional. I say a creative professional because, like the colors in a rainbow, my creative interests are quite varied and diverse. As a child, I was trained in classical dance. In fact, I learned two classical dance forms, Kuchipudi and Bharatanatyam. I performed on stage and I used to love being on stage. And if I wasn't dancing, I would be painting. So my favorite subjects in schools, apart from dance, music, art, crafts, was science. Once what happened when I was a child, I was playing with my cousins and I fractured my tooth. I fell and I fractured my tooth. They had to rush me to the dentist. And at the dentist's office, I was so fascinated by the dental chair and the techniques the dentist used to reconstruct my tooth. That day, I decided that I wanted to be a dentist. And eventually, I actually became a dentist and I also practiced dentistry for a couple of years. And like they say, destiny has its own path. I did a major switch of my career from dentistry to design. After practicing dentistry, I did both my masters in design. I did my masters in textile design from India and I did my MA fashion, my masters in Master of Arts in fashion in Milan in Italy. And that's when I began my career in design. I started my label Ganesh Nallari and my company Shikpi Studios Private Limited in 2007. And I've been specializing in wedding clothes and occasion wear. The best part about my studio is I'm mostly into made to order and into couture. So I meet different kinds of people with different personalities and different body types. And that is where the main fun part actually is. Because every person is different, every person's personalities, their tastes are different, their body types are different. And the challenge is to give my client the best what would suit them. So half the time it is more about educating a client as to what would look nice on them. And this whole design process and putting forward your ideas, thoughts and creating what would look best on my client is the main thing which I really enjoy doing. I draw inspiration from everything which is around me. It could be nature, architecture, animals, flowers, fruits, and even people, poetry. So to pick on a particular thing and say what inspires me is very difficult. Anything can inspire me. I just love being in a place and just observing things around and draw inspiration from things which are around me. I think there is so much to look around, there's so much happening around us that there's so many stories you can gather and you can put it in your creation. So it's very difficult for me to pick on a particular thing and say what really inspires me. It could be anything around me. Mine is a zero wastage studio. I believe in sustainable fashion and I make every effort to preserve every little bit of fabric. There is absolutely no wastage in my studio. So what happens with all the end bits, when the fabric is cut, so you have so much of waste. All this is very precious waste to me. So what I do is I segregate all fabric according to color, like all the oranges and reds go into one box, all the blues and purples go into another box. So I segregate basically all according to each color and then we put it in different boxes, right? And what I'll do right now is I'll demonstrate what I do with the leftover fabrics to create a new product and 100% zero wastage studio. Once all the end bits are segregated and put into different boxes according to color when they're segregated, what I've done here is I have collected all the peacock shades, the blues, purples and greens, and I've cut all these small pieces into thin strips, 1-inch strips. With this 1-inch strips, I'm going to do a patchwork technique. I'm going to sew all these 1-inch strips and create something like this. So this is my new fabric that I've created, that's made totally from all the leftover bits. And now once I have this new fabric, I can visualize as to how I can use this. Do I make a jacket out of it? Do I use it as a small border? Or do I use it for something else? Or maybe even make a jewelry box out of it, you know, to wrap a jewelry box, or the cover of a book. So you have basically a new fabric that you've created. Here I've used a patchwork technique. So this is another technique. Here it's an applique technique where I take a base fabric over which I basically put all these different kinds of fabric. I arrange it the way I want to on a base fabric, and then I put these stitches over it. You know, you just have to stitch over this, and then you create this beautiful texture. Here I basically created a cushion cover. This is actually a cushion cover I made from all the end bits. I do not want to call it waste because I don't believe in wastage. And sometimes it's about your mother's old saris. You can always, if at all you think that you can't, if the sari is not in proper shape, you can always use the border and put it onto something else. You can put the borders onto new fabric and make a dupatta out of it, or another sari out of it, or make cushions out of it, or frame it and put it as wall art. So I totally believe in recycling and upcycling, and use everything to the fullest potential. I truly believe that sustainability is something, sustainable lifestyle and sustainability is something which we all need to worry about and should actively participate in preserving every resource we have from Mother Nature. Today, apart from designing clothes, I also pursue theatre. I act, direct, and write plays. I strongly feel that life is an oxymoron, and so is design, with various multitudes of styles and materials, giving me an opportunity to explore what's seen and what's unseen. My experiences and knowledge in science and cultures have strongly influenced my work, and it's the passion for art that makes my world go round, giving me a creative high. I never chose a single color in the rainbow, but I wanted to be the complete rainbow. Thank you.